Welcome back to Title to Titles. I'm your host, Nino Brown, and you're watching a very special episode of Title to Titles. We have Jackson State linebacker Aubrey Miller. Right around the corner is the draft. My man's involved in the draft and trying to go to the next level. Aubrey, I know you're a very busy man, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
I can't complain, just grinding out. Tomorrow's going to be one of those days where I probably won't get much sleep. I doubt you'll get much sleep as well with
Yeah,
excitement. I'll be covering the draft, the next 3 or 4 days. So it'll be hectic, but, it's a culmination of everything we worked for. I mean, you worked
yes,
in a
sir.
different way than I did, but, in the end, it's all one sweet party, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. Can you give us a little bit of insight on what football life is like in Memphis? And did you happen to be a Titans fan?
Uh, Coming out of Memphis, you didn't really hear it as a football city, kind of mostly a basketball city. But a lot of times, football here is what you get, man. It's balls to the walls. If you know what I'm saying, and it's trying to explain it. You have some good areas, you have some bad areas, but at the end of the day, you're trying to get it out the mud. Just knowing that we just started getting notice of a lot of guys coming out of school, coming out of high school, and going to great colleges. We're steady developing. You steady got guys coming out of the city, man. And Tennessee Titans fan, I kind of was a guy who used to look at designs back in the day when I used to play Madden, but of course I sucked at Madden. I was never good at it. But I grew up as a Dallas fan, though.
Okay. All right. Well, my guy Coach is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, so he's probably when this goes live, he'll be in his glory, knowing that you are a Cowboys fan.
Yes, sir.
Um, you started. Let's talk about your journey, right? Your collegiate journey. You started your collegiate journey at Mizzou, right? And you were there for 3 seasons, and you decided to transfer to Jackson State. What was it about Jackson State that locked you in and made you commit?
The biggest thing is that I share with everybody is just the chance to change history, the chance to make history, the chance to be a part of history. You see a lot of movies, you see a lot of biographies and things of that nature of history guys made and turning things around, change the dynamic of schools, thoughts, stereotypes about a school, and you know what I'm saying, like, again, history. But that was kind of the main thing with Coach Prime and my position, Coach Hart, that basically put into my mental about making history. I had the opportunity to go somewhere else, but instead I wanted to make history there, and I think we achieved it.
Listen, I'm gonna touch back on this in a little bit about you guys making history and what you wanted to do. But in that season, Jackson State, 112 tackles, 40 solo, 2 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries in your senior year at Jackson State. I think it's safe to say that things went well for you at Jackson State. What was it?
Absolutely.
Was it something that just clicked for you, or did Jackson State put you in a position to succeed?
My whole mindset was coming back to win another championship, and I think with me coming back, I earned more respect from my teammates, which made them go a little bit harder and actually opened up a lot of things for me to be able to come out and put those stats down. My whole mindset was on winning, and everything else that you can name as far as stat wise came with it. The wars as well, but of course too, my coaches, um, them trusting me a little bit more, them let me go play ball. Like I said, put a lot of trust in me on that field to put me in good positions to be able to make those plays.
I watched a few games. There was times where you were just that vocal leader. You were out there, directing traffic, letting everybody know what was going on. So it was safe to say that your play on the field earned your respect from your teammates.
Yes, sir.
All right, now what was it like playing for Coach Prime, and what was the single best piece of advice that you walked away from speaking with him?
Um, it's like when people ask me that question, so many things that you can name what it was like being coached by him. But the biggest thing is he kind of showed you if you knew you was that guy, you was that guy. And when you play ball, it's all about hard work, all about effort. It was all about character, being fast, tough, smart, and disciplined. He basically dwelled on those things all the time. Those were, and also character. So those are the 5 things that describe a great player, a pro athlete. And that's what he made sure that he installed in us to be able to develop in those ways, of those things that I named. Um, and as far as one of the greatest things he's told me, mm, It's been so many things, man. Like if you can ask anybody before every game, it was basically almost like a timeline of things he was naming before each game. Um, it was so many, man. It's kind of hard for me. It was a couple things, man. But I think of what one thing he wrote me a note one time. I needed a few pens. I asked, could I borrow a few pens? And basically, he told me, I gotta remember it. I gotta remember. I even kept a note. Just let me think about it. He said, "Don't ask for what you need. Don't ask for something that you don't have. Have more of what you should already have." I think it was something like that, man. And I had to go to Coach Hart and I had to ask him, like, what does he mean by that? Coach Hart broke it down to me. A guy who's been around Coach Prime for a long time.
Right.
But that's just one thing that personally he shared with me. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't think I got it exactly right, but it's kind of around the same things around that time when I had to ask for him.
He just, I know he's a big God guy, and he just handles himself in that way. And when he speaks, he's almost like a preacher. He's like he drives his point home. It's heartfelt at every point. I watched a lot of the film at Jackson State, and those pregame speeches, man. If you didn't get fired up for those, then you didn't belong in a locker room
Right,
playing football.
right.
um, Your style of play at linebacker just reminds me of that old school snot bubble feel, right? You're an explosive, hard hitting, compact dog linebacker that just jumps off the screen to me when I watch your film. If an NFL GM is calling you and wants to know what he's getting in Aubrey Miller Jr., what are you telling him?
I think about this question all the time because I really want to say small things like crazy, hard hitter, wild guy. But truly, I mean, hard work has just been something that's been instilled in me, installed in me since I was a kid. Father never gave me anything easy. I had to work for every single thing. Um, and like I said, effort is already high. I don't give effort just because I feel like I have to. It's more of it's fun. I love doing it. I love being the guy who's still running when everybody else want to walk. Um, a smart guy, of course, but a guy who really wants it. A guy who's hungry and never feels full. Like a guy who's always hungry. I'm never rested. And like I said, man, I think if you had to say that in one word, I'd say hungry. Hungry. I'm a hungry guy.
That belly's always empty. You need to fill it up and keep eating.
Thanks.
I love it. I just love the demeanor that you carry. Just in this conversation, you can tell that you're a motivated and determined individual, whether it be just in football or in life. But you can just tell like the way you hold yourself, and I commend you and everything you've done so far this year. And I hope everything goes well at the next level. Now, speaking about the next level, right? You had mentioned that some others and yourself wanted to change the narrative at the HBCU schools, right? You had
Right.
27 NFL scouts at your pro day, and you had some substantial buzz at the Reese's Senior Bowl. I was down there. I was trying to get in contact with you, get an interview at the end of the practice, but you were a busy guy. I seen you were always flooded with people. I says, I understand he's busy. I'm gonna try to get him later on. Luckily, we were able to. Do you think is it safe to say that the process of changing the narrative has been successful?
Absolutely. But my whole mission is I'm not just for the time being that I was there. I mean, that's kind of something I want to change as far as going on. The years going on after me, generations down, I want to be able to stand on and say that this is what we started. But in order for us to do that, I mean, we got to have everybody lock in. A lot of guys see the vision that we had saw. But like I said, that's when I actually feel like the history will truly be made when it's generations down. I mean, of course, this was a start, though, and I'm proud of that.
No, it was a substantial start. I think you guys literally spun a narrative about if it wasn't 90, it was 180 degrees, and people's eyes are open.
Yeah.
Just alone seeing the people from the transfer portal. I know one of my guys that I enjoy watching, Seven McGee. Right, he was at Oregon and he transferred over to Jackson State. I think even though Coach Prime isn't there, I think what you guys built. I think it's going to be long lasting, and it's a wonderful thing to watch and see grow.
Yes, sir.
Uh, we're gonna talk. I want to talk a little bit about the Senior Bowl before I get on to the next one. What was
Okay.
like your experience like at the Senior Bowl? I know
Uh,
it's a weekend jam packed. You got a lot of agendas to go through, your practices and meeting with the media. But what was your overall take at the Senior Bowl?
I mean, it was a great experience. It was a great time for me to be able to visualize the type of guys that I'll be going against on the next level. Because I know a couple of those guys are going to be there, and I'm going to see their faces. I mean, of course, it was like deja vu, just like me being in Mizzou again, playing against all these Power 5 guys. But in all honesty, it was a great experience to get my exposure out. It was a great experience for me to be able to lay a hat on a couple of those guys to let them know who I am. As far as Jackson State, like I said, just let them know, don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on the people that we put out. But in all honesty, man, being coached by those great coaches, they taught me a lot of things, taught me a lot of terminology. They taught me what to expect going on the next level. Like I said, I kind of have a feeling of what to expect from a pro coach, from an NFL coach, a couple of them, seeing how they prepare for games and, film rooms, kind of all that stuff, man, was a great opportunity for me to be with all 32 teams. Everything was such a blessing. Like I said, it was so many things that you can name about the Senior Bowl. But those were the things that come to mind to me right now that I'm actually grateful for.
Awesome. You said you wanted to, put a lick on them guys. That's them guys knew who you are and remember you. Who's one guy on the opposite side of the ball that kind of stood out to you after the Senior Bowl?
It was really a couple.
The guy you enjoyed battling with, whether it be a tight end guy.
Oh, okay. So it would be Eric Gray.
Okay.
Eric Gray, I mean, like we grew up from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And our schools basically played each other a couple times. I never got to lay a hat on him. But I'm pretty sure if I got to, though, he'll feel me. Well, I really did in practice. But no, that's my dog, though. Our parents know each other. I'm rooting for him, man. And just seeing his accomplishments has been nothing but exciting for me to see him prosper. So that'll be a guy I say I enjoy playing against.
That's good stuff.
He actually was on my team, but in practice, we was going against each other every day. So
yeah. I mean, we were actually able to interview him down at the Senior Bowl, and my co-host on my college show, Boomer, he's a OU alum. He's actually back at school now, so that's his guy too. So he'll love to hear that. Now we're gonna dive in a little bit on the NFL side. The draft's small, right?
Right.
Who are some NFL teams that you've spoken with heading into tomorrow's draft?
I've spoken to a lot of them. You got the Cardinals, Steelers. I've heard from the Eagles, Chiefs, Miami, Colts. It was plenty. If I can look at my phone, I can actually clarify a lot of other teams. But let me think, man. My mind's going blank. I had so many teams.
Those teams alone, some of those teams in there, it's a legendary team. Like you end up in Pittsburgh, and those legendary linebackers there. That's A1, man.
Yeah, you got the Rams, the Lions. Like I said, I can keep going, but it's just I'm just ready to get this thing over with.
Yeah, the excitement and just the build up. You've had enough. You're ready to lock it in and start that next chapter in the Aubrey Miller book. Now, in one word, sum up Aubrey Miller Jr.
Hungry, starving.
I love it. The fire, it's there and it never goes out.
Thanks.
All right, I ask everybody this one question to lighten the mood before we close out the interview. You got one bowl of cereal left to have. You can only have one. What is the breakfast cereal 101?
Fruity Pebbles.
My guy, that's my man. I love it. That's my go-to. It has, the taste and the milk. The milk at the end. It's just like an extra snack when you're closing it out.
Yes, sir.
Aubrey, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you doing this. I know you're extremely busy with everything going on. After the draft and everything, winds down, I love to stay in contact and then bring you on and revisit what happened.
Absolutely. I'm here for you, brother.
All right, my man. Like I said, I'm watching. I'm wishing you luck, and I'll be in contact.
I got you, big dog. Thank you, man, for having me.
No problem. Good luck, my man.
All right.